Good afternoon, Yonkers. Happy Sunday. Happy Columbus Day. I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Join me for the Fun Day, Sunday Fun Day episode. Good afternoon, Yonkers. Did I say good evening? Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Sunday Fun Day. This is Basement Politics. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Happy Columbus Day to all of Yonkers, but especially to the Italian community here in the city of Yonkers. I am Freddie Vasquez. Join me. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I can't get evening out of my mind. Good afternoon, I should say. It's almost evening, right? It's 5:47. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Happy Sunday Fun Day. Happy Columbus Day to all of Yonkers and especially to the Italian American community here in the city of Yonkers. Anybody go to the parade? I did. Should have turned off the light. Anyway, folks, happy Sunday. I wanted to come on real quick and just talk a little bit about the parade, Columbus Day parade that happened today. Early at 2 o'clock, it started over on Yonkers Avenue and Seminary Road, I believe it's called, in front of the St. John's Church. And I was over at the end by Midland Avenue. And it was good. It was a little chilly. It was cloudy. Someone said it was a poor turnout and that it's always a poor turnout. Excuse me. Is it usually a poor turnout? Because I did wonder, was there more people? Maybe there were people lined up along Yonkers Avenue. I didn't go to that end. But I saw a lot of people there. I saw Steve Sansone, the Parks Department commissioner, spoke with him a little bit. And in fact, I asked Steve about the Bernice Breckman Center, thing that's going on over there with the seniors. And the way Steve explained it to me is this, all right? And Steve's a nice guy. At least that's what I get from him. He said that because of the pandemic and the renovations, I should say, that they, the members had scattered to other centers. And so now they're, now the renovations are done, they want to, find out who are the members. They want, they want to get a list of the members who are going to be part of the Bernice Breckman Community Center specifically before they do the elections. That's what he told me. But that, they're not against them having the elections. So the seniors can do that. They just want to know who are the members. They want to know who's going to be involved in this election, I guess, involved in the board, and, involved with the center. I don't know. So, I don't know if this helps to, those individuals who are fighting this good fight here and trying to get their board and elections and all that good stuff. So I did speak with Steve, and he said that. So he made it seem like it's something very simple. So hopefully that'll get worked out. I saw Dave Tubiolo as well. I saw, who else did I see? Christopher Johnson, County Legislator Christopher Johnson, Mike Breen as well. I saw Moranti. Moranti was out there early. And I just said I spotted Moranti on Midland eagerly awaiting the start of the parade. I didn't say it was anything wrong with that. Somebody said, what's wrong with that? Nothing. No, I'm just saying he was there waiting for the parade to start. I also saw George Latimer, County Executive George Latimer. He actually waved to me. Andrea Stewart Cousins, Senator Andrea Stewart Cousins was there as well. And I saw Nader Sayed, the assemblyman who's running for re-election against Mike Breen, the councilman of the 5th District. And he was, arm in arm with Councilwoman Majority Leader Tasha Diaz. It was a long walk. I would imagine everyone looked tired. I mean, everyone from young to old. So I don't know, how long a walk that was, but I would imagine it was long. They kind of were like out of breath by the time they got to Midland, right? So it was cool. I liked it. And the crowd really got hyped up when the Cobras marching band came toward the end. They closed out the parade and they really kind of got things going. People's blood flowing with the drums and stuff. So it's very important. And so that's why I'm glad that things are starting to happen for the school districts in terms of drums. I hear that they're trying to work on getting a band and stuff. That's going to be awesome. I also saw Columbus. Christopher Columbus was there. He was on the Nina, the Pinto, the Santa Maria. I forget which one was it. We learned that a long time ago in school, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't impact our lives to remember this, right? As adults. So I forget. He was on one of the ships there. And so I waved to him. And also the mayor, obviously, the mayor, Mike Spano, was there. And I ran into the mayor also after the parade was over in Midland on Pizza, Midland Avenue Pizza. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. But I wanted to show something really quick. It's the Santa Maria. He sailed on the Santa Maria. Columbus was here. I forget, I mean, listen, you know what we need to know now? How to manage, our finances, right? How to apply for a job, how to sit in the interview, right? How to communicate effectively. I never needed to know about the Santa Maria ever after that. I want to show a little bit of the parade, I should say, really quick, and you shout out to the Yonkers police. They had the all electric Mustang police car out there, so the electric vehicles led the pack, and I'm assuming they're trying to get us, into this whole electric idea, right? Because Kathy Hochul, I don't know if you guys heard, is now making it a law that after 2026, I believe, and she's following in the footsteps of California, that they no longer can sell cars that are not going to be all electric here in New York State. Right. So after that time, if you want a car that takes gas, you have to buy it used, or maybe from someone. I don't even know if the dealers could sell it, which I think is crazy because they have to revamp their whole electric grid and all that stuff. What if the power goes down? You can't go anywhere. I don't know how that's going to work. But anyway, shout out to the Yonkers police and the motorcycle unit, which I think is awesome. Like, I would want to be in the motorcycle unit. I saw those guys the other day, and they looked like they were having a lot of fun. Oh, they got the new Mustang, too. They got that new Mustang. I always love this part of the parades when the police come, Shout out to the Yonkers police. What do you guys think of the Mustang? The police Mustang? Has anyone ever been pulled over by it or arrested? Bye. Shout out to all the cool Harley Davidson guys there. Police motorcycle unit. That's the coolest unit, the motorcycle unit, at least in my opinion. And so I want to show some of the elected officials here. There goes the Grand Marshal. So the Mayor Spano's coming up here. There goes the Mayor of the City of Yonkers, Mayor Mike Spano. And George Latimer, actually. Like they were marching too, in sync. And these, and then following behind. And we have Nader holding on to Tasha Diaz, David Tubiolo, Brenton Bullock, Chuck Lesnick. How you doing, Senator Andrea Stewart? Come. It matches. Yeah, Chuck Lesnick asked me about my hat, LA Dodgers. And there was Gary Pretlow. County Legislator Christopher Johnson. And yes, I got it. No, but I'm waiting for it. That's the judge from Family Court. Mike Breen there. How you doing? How's everything? Jokingly said that County Legislator. I said, no, I'm still waiting for it. James Nolan, Anthony Moranti, and Councilman Mike Breen. Someone help Breen. That was the GOP right there. GOP, the Republicans coming up. Christopher Johnson, County Legislator. Mike Breen, again, who's running for re-election. I'm sorry, not re-election. He's challenging Nader Sage now. Nader Sage is running for re-election, and Mike Breen is termed out under District 5 unless they end term limits, which he's been pushing for. He speaks openly about it. He believes term limits should be eliminated. There shouldn't be any term limits. Just like, he believes that anything that Mike Spano says, anything that the Spano says, Mike Breen is for it. Eliminating terms, he's for it, right? Changing zoning laws and all that, or changing zoning in areas that were once industrial, he's all for it, right? And that has to, that I'm referring to the Ludlow Park thing where the Mike Cater lawsuit talks about the property that's owned by the Spanos there, and they're saying, no, it hasn't been changed or rezoned. It's still industrial. But Mike Breen wants to change all the properties that are zoned industrial to residential because he believes that the industrial age is over and we should be changing that. Anyway, I was in Midland Pizza after the parade ended. And by the way, shout out to Midland Pizza. Their pizza is pretty good. It's the first time I've ever been there and had a slice. It was very good. And I shout out to DPW guys. I was talking to one of the DPW gentlemen there. Likes to show support. So thank you for that. So we were chatting it up. And as we were in there and I was eating my slice, everyone started kind of rolling in. I thought that was like this hangout spot because I saw County Legislator Nolan there. I spoke to him for a little bit. Congratulations to him. He told me that he is expecting his first child. He will be having a daughter. His wife, or did they get married? Fiance is 8 months now, so he'll be a dad soon. And he was telling me he's very busy. He's like, I'm so busy. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I said, yeah, well, if you think you're busy now, just wait till the baby's born, because babies, if you had a child once or twice or 3 or 4 times, you know what it's like, right? That's going to keep him very busy now. It's going to be double the work with the child. But congratulations to you. Again, he's expecting a daughter, his first child. So I chatted up with him. I said hello to his mom also, Donna Nolan, who was there as well with his dad. And I then saw the mayor come in, and he was with his mother-in-law, right, Mrs. Calvi. And she, I've seen it. This first time I've ever seen her. And so he was with her there, and she was ready to go. She was like, I'm ready to go, Mike. Let's get out of here. Unfortunately, as Mike was about to go, he was in there to get something to drink. Someone walked in, and he said hello to me, gave me the fist bump, And but then someone walked in, and some woman, and she was with a child. And, this is the first time I see this, right? Like, and I would imagine he gets this a lot. She stops and says, Mike, and she starts, Mayor saying, giving him this story about what's going on in her life. And, she gets very upset. And then she, to ask her son to step outside, she starts crying, and she goes, to the mayor, I didn't want to, cry in front of my son, but, I'm having this trouble and, some family things, and people in her family having some health issues. So, I just stood there and I kind of watched that whole scenario, that whole scene kind of play out. And I was just thinking to myself, he must get this a lot, and she's really like crying. And like, I'm like, wow, how does, see how he handles that. So he listened, he listened, he waited, even though his mother-in-law was standing. I could see her face. She was like, I'm ready to go. She's ready to go. And so, but he's the mayor, right? He's the mayor, and a constituent comes and says that she has an issue and maybe he can help as the mayor. I don't know necessarily what he specifically could do for the situation she was describing. Unfortunately, I mean, it's a situation that I'm sure a lot of people are probably going through right now. So, it's sad, but he did take her phone number. He got a napkin, wrote her number down. So she may be, he may be calling her. I don't know. Maybe someone from his office will be calling. I don't know. Maybe his aide, see what they can do. But he listened. He stood there, and then as she left, he turned around, kind of smiled, and he was like, he shook my hand. He said, take care. I was like, yeah, take care, Mayor. And then I was just telling the guy, DPW, I said, he must get that a lot. I wonder what can he, really do. And so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, then after he left, I saw her come back in, and she had the biggest smile on her face. I mean, it's like she just was not crying just a few minutes ago, like everything was all great again. And she's all like, cheery and stuff like that. I don't know what she was looking for, but just interesting to see that play out there in front of me, as the mayor, engaging a constituent who's going through something, family issue, and she maybe thinks that the mayor can help with it somehow. And so we'll see. Maybe there'll be a follow-up. Maybe he does help. I don't know. But yeah, so that was interesting. And so who else would I see? Yeah, there's a lot of people. Again, Tasha Diaz was there, majority leader. Brenton Bullock, her aide, was there as well. That's it. And Steve Sansone, who I said I spoke to. And so, again, to those who have been dealing with the senior issue over there at the Bernice Spreckman Center, according to Steve, it's real no issue. It's just a matter of gathering, an official list or, whatever, who the members are going to be and all that good stuff so that you can get your elections going for the board. So challenge him on that. Go ahead. Let's see if that's true. Right, guys? I said it here on Basement Politics. But anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Sunday Fun Day. I just wanted to come on and talk about that real quick. Let me see what's going on with the comments. Has anyone noticed that Nolan is at every event and his pictures are everywhere? How does he have time for all this, being a county legislator for only 9 months, and he is working with Lee Zeldin on his campaign? And what do you mean by that? What he has all that time to, in terms of, I don't know. What do you mean? Like he's doing a lot. He's doing, he definitely is out there. He does definitely go into different events. I believe you said he's helping Lee Zeldin on his campaign against Kathy Hochul. I'm sure they got a lot of the Republicans, helping out. But what do you mean specifically? Is there some specific? Anything? Anything? The I've the mayor to help me as well as all of those politicians, and they either ignore me or simply say we can't help. And I'm going to agree with you on that, because this is why I started basement politics, right? I had to figure out a way to get help. I went to them for help for a few things, and I never actually asked politicians to help me before. Listen, I've had businesses, but I never had to deal with the building department to get my businesses going, or Yonkers directly to start my businesses. So that was new to me with the my daycare and universal pre-K, little prodigies, and having to go through all that. So I went to them for help on that. I went to them for help for also some issues with CPS when I was falsely accused, which I've spoken about on my podcast. And it just seemed like we didn't get anywhere. And as William Ward says, and he says this a lot about Mike Breen, when you ask them for help or you reach out to them, they don't respond, or they'll give you a generic response, but that's it. And that's not, okay to me, because they brag about doing all this stuff, right? We give out food. Okay, great. But what do you do when constituents come to help, for help, right? Tasha Diaz, and we reached out to her about early on about the permit issue. Didn't get any response. Said she was going to come by, never came by. But yet she's in a meeting insulting Sam Borelli, who, by the way, was at the parade today, accusing him of, having some negative issue towards women at a live meeting because he would not respond to her, or did not respond to her request for an inquiry into a permit for a church. That was interesting, right? So, listen, and really quick with James Nolan, now, bringing him up. I know that my wife, James Nolan my wife was at a game at Roosevelt. They have the Sharks that play there, and, the other team. And so she went, now that she's at Roosevelt, and she saw County Legislator James Nolan there. He said hello to her. They spoke for a few. He said, this is my district. I guess Roosevelt is in his district. And he said, this is why I'm here, whatever. So my wife said, okay, great, cool. So then, my wife was talking about the senior trip, right, for this coming year for the seniors. And she learned that last year, unfortunately, the seniors could not go on a senior trip. The high school I went to, this was a big deal, right? Kids went to Cancun and stuff. I ended up not going. We did our own senior trip to Florida, but they had the official one was to Cancun, right? So imagine these kids, seniors, couldn't even go on their trip because there was no money for the transportation. No funding for transportation. Really? I'm sure they could have reached out to a couple of us and we could have put in some money. I know I would have. Some of these elite, right? The elite, the group, the cabal that I speak about that seem to get themselves into all these high paying jobs, as well as their kids and grandkids, right? Uncles, cousins, and nephews, right? They can come out with money so these kids can go on a trip. So my wife is wanting to make sure that doesn't happen this year, not under her watch, right? So she was trying to figure it out. Someone gave her James Nolan's phone number. So she reached out to James Nolan, and, I guess he said he couldn't really help with it, right? Because it's nothing that he's not, I guess he doesn't work on that. Maybe that's somebody else's thing. So, for her, she just, and this is not I'm not trying to jab at, County Legislator Nolan, nothing like that, but it's just, another example of, sometimes you reach out and you're hoping for some kind of, especially with kids, right? This is the kids, students, Yonkers Public School students. And I get he's on the county level, but maybe you could point in the right direction, or maybe make a phone call to somebody who can help, or like I would do, I might just come out of pocket. How much is it going to be? Let me know. Let's see what we could do when the time comes to raise this money and make sure that they go. But either way, no matter what, we're going to make sure that this year, the seniors at Roosevelt have their senior trip, and that nothing is going to stop them, especially something as small and I believe insignificant as the cost of the transportation. That's just my opinion. And so, my wife was like, well, I came up to me. I thought, we would get this done. All right. So I don't know. Maybe that's not, she doesn't understand it. I don't understand it maybe all the way. Wow, Hoke, sad to hear that. You know, that's just how things are here in the city of Yonkers. Congratulations to him and his family. Yeah, definitely they're doing a thing with the child and stuff like that. But not to pick on him. This is something that I think that all our elected officials need to work on. You have to work on your response to the uh, constituents, right? I mean, again, what have you guys actually done? And I said this on my podcast last year. And again, this is not a dig, and I'm talking about city council members here now. What have they done to impact the lives for the better of the average resident of the city of Yonkers? What? There's an affordable housing crisis. They still have not gotten an affordable housing ordinance that truly benefits the people. Nothing. The one that was up for voting, they killed it. Tasha Diaz was the one that killed it. She had an opportunity to override the mayor's veto because they presented it. The mayor vetoed it, and then they were voting to override it with a supermajority for Democratic women, Black women, I should say, of color, and they still didn't get it passed. She voted no to override the mayor's veto. So that killed more affordable housing. Education, the quality of the education that our students receive here in the public schools. What's going on with that? What have they done? They brag about money that they bring, especially when it comes closer to their elections, right? We see the post on Facebook. That's wonderful. Great post. But where's the money? Where did it go? What did it actually do? Show us. We want to see the results. We don't want to hear about what you did. We want to see what you did, right? Right. And what about taxes that continue to go up, which you pay, and then your schools are not even worth it? The quality of life, the roads, right? Number 5, the roads. The conditions of these roads are horrible everywhere, everywhere. I don't think I've ever seen the roads in the city of Yonkers this bad. And so what are they doing to address this? Let's think about what they talk about the most. What does our city council speak of the most when they at their meetings? Developers, developments, Ludlow projects, this project, that project. Now they're talking about the 21 Scarsdale Road project, 150 units, luxury development that will give them 156 parking spaces. But they do affordable housing, like the one on Main Street, 76 units only, and 24 parking spaces, right? Buena Vista, 900 luxury rentals, 900 parking spaces. But that's all they talk about is development. So how are the developments, since you talk about that so much, guys, how does that benefit the community and the people within that community? How is it benefiting the people? So folks, I hope you understand what I'm trying to get at here. I hope that I'm starting to paint, if I haven't already painted a clear picture, that they have not done anything for the people of Yonkers. Everything that they've done has been for the developers who don't live in Yonkers, for people that are moving in from outside of Yonkers, and even some of them are probably getting pissed off with the developments that are still going on, right? The jobs, what about jobs? Where are all the jobs that were promised? These developments were supposed to bring in a lot of jobs. Where are they? Where are the Lionsgate jobs? How many people have been hired from Yonkers by Lionsgate or by any of these developers being paid a real, true living wage? How many? And how are the small businesses benefiting? Because they were sold on that too. You're gonna bring in these developments, and that means that more people coming in are gonna go into your businesses. Or did that mean that they were gonna come in and push us small businesses out? Then bring in new businesses like Starbucks, Whole Foods. Meanwhile, you have Bougie Brews. You have all the smaller coffee shops around the area, but they brought in Starbucks. So you have to see that what's happening. And what have they done for us? They haven't done anything. Everything that they've done has been for these developers, and that's not benefited the community. It's pushed a lot of people in the community out. It's caused people rents to increase. Someone just told me that their new landlord, as their building was bought by new owners, a new owner now, and that's the first thing this new owner did was increase their person's rent by $500 in one shot. This is like the fourth or fifth person now within a week that's told me this. And it's happening everywhere. Rents are going up everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's the best community in Yonkers or the worst community in Yonkers, rents are going up. And the developments and these developers that have come in here like vultures are the reason for it. Not one benefit to the average person here in the city of Yonkers. So I can't imagine that you would want these same council members to represent you for another term. The politicians always forget about the people who voted for them, don't they? They only remember when it's time to get elected. I'm facing employment discrimination from the city employment of Yonkers, and my councilman said he can't help. No jobs since only the mayor's family gets put on the city jobs. The mayor's family, the city council members' families, businessmen's family, right? Like the individual who was released from prison after serving time for a felony conviction in April and is already working for DPW. Ain't that something? So who's your councilman, Mo? I would like to know. And what's the discrimination issue? I remember you saying Brooklyn people will move here, and a couple from Brooklyn bought a house in Bronxville who writes shows for Netflix. Yeah, because a lot of these Brooklyn yuppies, right? That's what I call them. You know, these artsy people with the glasses, you know, they're writers and stuff like that. And so they come in here because of the Lionsgate. You know, you got producers. That's why, you know, these people have higher incomes. They're in the movie industry, right? They millions and millions of dollars they make, right? So they're coming here. They're going to buy these homes around the downtown area. The others are going to, you know, rent the apartments in there. Some might rent an apartment and buy a home because they got it like that so they can stay close to the downtown. You know, I was considering doing that too, get an apartment down there. But, you know, but Lionsgate and stuff, you know, so they can go boom, bam, beam, go to work. Then on the weekends, they'll go to their home, you know, the house, go to the yard, you know, and so that's going to really change it. And listen, sure, it's going to be nicer, right? It is. I'm not doubting. I'm not saying it's not. And I don't have anything, you know, necessarily against things becoming nicer. It's just how it's being done. It's what I'm not okay with, you know, pushing people out and just saying, you know what? We're not going to make it work with you guys. We don't want you here. For the most part, most of y'all, we want you out. We're going to bring in new people that we would prefer to be here, right? It's almost a discrimination. It's almost like racism, right? A classism. It's classism. Let's just be real. It's not about color. It's classism. Because there's the elite blacks and the elite Latinos that are playing the game and making their money as well, seeing blacks and Hispanics being pushed out. They don't care. No matter if you're Hispanic or black. Green is what matters, man. The dollar bill, the almighty dollar is what matters, you fool. Didn't you learn that a long time ago, Freddie? Mike Breen, so you're in the 5th district. Yeah, Mike Breen is, you know, and there's someone here that would agree with you and me when I say this. He does not answer. He does not care. Mike Breen was at the parade today, struggling to make it to the end. Mike Breen struggling to make it to the end of his term as city council member, hoping that he can defeat Nader, which I don't know if he can. I mean, it doesn't even seem like he's trying. He has a lot less signs than Nader does. But if you ask me, this is something that he's doing for a favor, because at the end of the day, ultimately, what he just hopes for is that once his term is up in the 5th district, which it will be soon, he'll land on his feet somewhere in the city, working in some, you know, job over there in City Hall or something like that. That's what he's going to do. And so I was talking today to an individual at the parade, and this is what they were saying, that it's always the same people that get hired and then they get moved around, shuffled around. Here you go here. Okay, now you're going to go there. Okay, now you're going to go here. Okay, now you're going to go there. And that's it. That's how it works. And that's why you can never get away with it. Like when I was dealing with my building department thing, there was somebody in the building department, somebody even up in the state at OCFS that was connected to people here in the city that I was dealing with. It's like I can't get away from these people, right? And so, if you have an issue with them, this is why people stay quiet. This is why a lot of people are afraid. You're going to have discrimination. You're going to have retaliation. You're going to have this, these attacks against you. They're going to try to make it uncomfortable for you and ultimately get you fired and get you out. That's what they do to those who ruffle feathers, right? Rebel rousers. That's what they do. Don't be a rebel rouser. What did I miss? I don't know. What'd you miss? Not a lot. We need to get answers for the woman on Elm Street. What happened on Elm Street? What do you mean, what woman? Mike Breen worships celebrities. What do you mean by that? Well, all I know is that Mike Breen, and this has been said to about him by a lot of people, so maybe it's not good, but also Nader Sage, I don't know how much better is he, but these are politicians that are lame ducks. They don't do anything. And this is what I said earlier on, and I'm going to reiterate it. What have they done for the people? So we have to come out and vote for new people. We can't just complain and sit back. It's cool to complain. Like I said, I don't mind people who talk crap as long as you back it up. If you talk ish, that's cool. Just back it up. Just don't talk ish and never back it up. So you want to complain, you want to say it, let's say it. But then let's go and vote. Let's get out there next year. Right? And I'm not going to say I'm the guy that's always been out there voting at every election. I have not, but I damn sure am going to now because I see the importance. I see that I need to be vocal. I see that I need to speak out. I see that I need to help motivate people. And I want people to come out so you can help continue to motivate me so we can do this. This is our city. It's not their city, right? We can stop this. We can slow this down. We can ensure that if these developers want to continue and developing here, and Lionsgate wants to continue doing business here, that you're not going to neglect, ignore, or forget the people that have been here. You're not just going to push them out. You're not going to scheme ways through housing over at Macy with these lottery that they try to sell us as a good thing, which what it really was a reorganization of the people that are receiving vouchers or that are on the waiting list. They wanted to get people out of these, buildings that they have, renovate them, and then put new people in there, reorganize the waiting list. People that were on there for 10 years no longer on there. It's all a scam. Condemning buildings to get people evicted. Then they're being sold off, renovated while condemned. Then they, rent them out at higher rents. It's all a plan to get a certain group of people out. That's why they're not focusing on the schools, in my opinion, because they plan on saying, hey, if 75% of the Yonkers public school students are living at or below the poverty line, that means their parents are too, obviously, right? And these are the people that we want to get out. So we're going to push a lot of those people out anyway. So why give two craps about the schools right now? Let's just get these developments built up. Right? Obviously, that's what it is. 35% of the people live at or below the poverty. The average person, in the city of Yonkers makes $35,000 a year. The average one-bedroom apartment in those luxury rentals is $3,000 a month, which equals $36,000 a year. $1,000 more than what the average person in Yonkers makes. So they can't even afford the apartment, even if they weren't going to pay for nothing else that whole year, right? So who are these apartments for? The one that is being increased $500 a month. Yeah, and this is what I was saying. What has these developments? They promised us a lot when they try to sell us these developments, the Lionsgate and all that. We're going to get jobs. The small businesses are going to see an increase in business from the people coming in. But that has not happened. What we've seen is that people have been pushed out because rent increases. Like you say there, and I mentioned that a woman who the building she lives in was sold to another individual. And look, and I just want to say what she said exactly. She said it was sold to a Jewish developer. And why I say that? Because when I said that, people try to accuse me of being racist. No, I'm just telling you the facts. I mean, I just know it's just an observation. Wow. They're just an observation, right? And so that's what she said exactly. And as soon as this person bought the building and became the owner, he jacked up her rent by $500 a month. That's a lot of money. I was going to curse. It's a lot of money. It's additional $6,000 a year that this woman has to now come up with because we got these developers coming from Brooklyn, buying up everything, and then renting it at much higher prices. And these are the little smaller ones. They come in with the big whales, the big developers, because they know that the developers are going to cause, that area to change. So they buy up the smaller properties around, right? So it's like the big whale with the little fish that latch on. So when the whale eats, little bits and pieces that come off the food, they then eat off that. That's what they are. Then that's what's happening. And they pay people in the building department. All right, which buildings you have out there, properties that have little violations and stuff. Here, I'm going to give you this amount of money, condemn the building, and then I'm going to go in and buy it. And then I'm going to do renovation while it's condemned. That's what they're doing. These schemers, scammers. This is nothing new. I'm not being angry or mad or trying to create a story or lie. This is nothing new. These guys do this. Look at Muncie. Look it up in Spring Valley. Look it up in Brooklyn. That a lot of Brooklyn. It happened in Brooklyn, right? Remember the riots over there in Brooklyn and all that when there was that whole thing, right? And those communities that fighting each other, right? Why? Because people felt like they were being invaded. It's nothing personal against any one of them. It's just nothing gets done, so we have to get out and vote. Absolutely. So the only way we're going to change it, we're going to stop this, is by coming out and voting next year. District 1, District 3, District 5, and the mayor's seat are up for election. We need everyone to come out and vote this time. If there's any other year that you come out and vote, it needs to be 2023. It's very important. And you new folks, because I've had people reach out to me, new people that are concerned with the overdevelopment, because even they're saying, wait a minute, we moved here, but maybe it's going to be too crowded. We wanted to get away from the crowds. You guys got to come out and vote too now. You live here in Yonkers. Make sure you're registered. Young folks, make sure you're registered. Because the people that I'm hoping that will get elected this coming year are going to be people that are going to really care about the people. They're going to do things for the young people, especially the schools, especially, and make sure that we have housing for the people. Make sure that we keep our taxes low, because we're going to be taxing those who want to come to Yonkers and become even richer than they already are by doing business here. That's how we're going to increase our revenue. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. You got to join me. You got to support me. I'll support you back. We need to get these crooks out. Boom. Absolutely. Let's get them out of here. Let's get the crooks out. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. And this is all in just my opinion. Disclaimer. Anything that is said on my show, comments that I read, words that come out of my mouth, articles that I read from the internet, it's just what it is, right? What I come out, my thoughts are my opinions, what I believe from sources, from what I read on the internet. So, hey, just want to put that disclaimer out there in case, they think, we got to sue that guy. Let's sue him. I thought they can only raise it up 4%, the new owners. They sold my building 2 times on Nolans Street, and if you had a lease, they couldn't raise it until the lease was over, and they only raised it 2 or 4%. Well, it just depends, really, who are the people buying it, right? And they can do what they want. If they buy a new thing and they, maybe do some improvements and stuff really, they can try to get people out. I know when I was buying some property, buy property, there's a tenant in there. I look at the track record of that tenant. If the tenant, has been having issues, I probably will work to have that tenant, the owner of the home, have the tenant, because I don't want to buy a house with a tenant, right? Especially one that it's just business, it's just business. Anyway, folks, they were realtor. Yeah, maybe because they're realtor, they do things a little differently. But some individuals, the sharks out there, they don't care. They do things a little rogue, and I get it. I'm a little rogue myself too. I don't wait for no marshal. Want to come and stay in my property and cause me more money? I'm coming in there and I'm getting your stuff out. You deal with the marshal. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm here on your side. Please continue to share the podcast, support, Let a friend know about Basement Politics. A lot of people are telling me, my friend put me on. Word of mouth is the best promotion. So continue to share and tell your friends about it. This is Basement Politics. You got to come out and vote next year. Don't forget. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Oh, by the way, I didn't see John Rubo.
You're watching Basement Politics.
Where was John Rubo? Isn't John?
Well, Mr. Rubo lied to me, and I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
Isn't John Rubo Italian? Where's he at? Where do you go? I didn't see him today at the parade.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie.
It was a little cold. Was a little cold.
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I went to Yonkers Public Schools. I don't think you did. We can go on all night with this, honey.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Shout out to everyone who supports, and thank you to the individuals that came up to me today and said, Freddie, I like your channel. Freddie, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. Basement Politics, I love your show. Basement Politics, I'm always watching you. I've watched all your episodes. Wow, that's incredible to me, man. Like, you know, because I don't even do this to really, like, I don't want to be like, you know, like a podcast, famous and successful, super popular show. That's never my intention. Really was just to put information out there. But the fact that people like it and really enjoy watching it, you know, and come up to me and make it a point to say something to me when they see me, yo, I'm humbled by that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, I really do. And, you know, it's really surreal, right? Surreal. But, you know, I do this really to inform people, keep people up to date on what's going on, and let you know, man, what's really happening. Like, we're really getting screwed. And I don't like for people to get screwed, all right? So I'm here to make sure you don't get screwed, right? Anyway, folks, but thank you, and I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who said something to me, you know, commented. I appreciate it, man. That's incredible. It's amazing. Thank you. That's God right there, folks. God is great. Yeah, I keep my beads on like the DPW guy said. God is great, folks. Have a blessed Sunday.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Letting Helen off easy.
Are we doing interviews right now?
Yes, I sent that text message yesterday if you had any questions for the candidates.
Yes, but I thought it was going to be like after we went through the agenda, we would then do interviews. But I'm okay. I don't have any questions. I know. Okay. I think she's great. I think she'll be a great first deputy counsel.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
I wonder if they thought that Elroy Harris was going to be a great municipal housing authority employee. I wonder if they thought that Yonkers firefighter who was soliciting children down in Atlantic City for sex was going to be a great fireman. I wonder if they thought that DPW worker who killed 16-year-old CJ Hackett was going to be a great DPW employee. I wonder if that Yonkers public school teacher they hired who was fired for sexual misconduct with a student is going to be a great teacher. Friends and Family Network, harming our children. Unbelievable.
Freddie wins.
They don't vet these people because they're friends. They're hooking them up. I mean, the deputy commissioner of the Parks Department stole $3,000 in a park permit scheme. And how was she rewarded? Well, she became the deputy parks commissioner. This was before she was doing this. And according to the Tribune, she's great friends with the city council president. Family and friends. Family and friends. Family and friends hook up. Family and friends. Family and friends.
No!
Time to end the family and friends. Family and friends.